हम चल के आगे जाने वाले तो बने, हम कुछ ऐसे देखिए, पार्लियामेंट कल है कल पार्लियामेंट अटेंड किया, आज संडे है, आज 8 तारीख, 4 स्टेट्स के इलेक्शन के रिजल्ट्स आ रहे हैं। उसके बावजूद आपका दर्द आप महसूस कीजिए कि हाउ मच ही इट्स कंसर्न फॉर हिम, फॉर द कम्युनिटी। ये लीडरशिप होती है। ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हर पॉलिटिशियन जो है सही ना हो। अजीज़ पाशा साहब यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, ये भी पॉलिटिशियन है, चाहे वो होंगे सीपीआई में होने के बावजूद आप समझते नहीं कि वो उनका दर्द कम्युनिटी के साथ और जो है मुल्क के साथ इत्तेहाद और सारी चीज़ों के साथ हो, तो हमारे को समझने चाहिए। कम्युनिस्ट का पूरा दिल रहता है। तो नाउ बिकॉज बहुत टाइम भी हो रहा है, लेकिन दो प्रेजेंटेशन है वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। वो ये है आप लोगों की इजाज़त से, एक है जनाब शफीकुर रहमान महाजिर साहब, एडवोकेट, वेरी रिनाउंड एडवोकेट। आप उनके लिए पहले अप्लॉज कीजिए कि वो यहाँ हैं। और ये बहुत ही एग्रेसिव, और ही इज़ नोन फॉर हिज arguments. He is a very popular advocate, nationally known, and he is working on many fronts. But मुझे हैरत है कि आपने भी वही सब्जेक्ट पे मेहनत की है चंद दिनों में, वो जो सब्जेक्ट राम पुनियानी जी ने आपको बताया है। It may not look politics, but it will definitely look from the books of law, in the perspective of our constitution and our judiciary and our systems and administrative setups, किस तरीके से इन फोर्सेस को देखना चाहिए था, इन हुकूमतों को, और वो क्या कर रही हैं। आई रिक्वेस्ट जनाब शफीक महाजिर साहब, एडवोकेट, टू कम एंड गिव ए प्रेजेंटेशन फ्रॉम द शैडोज इनटू द लाइट, द इंडिया दैट कैन बी, फ्रॉम द शैडोज इनटू द लाइट, द इंडिया दैट कैन बी। एंड वी हैव 3 people only to speak. शफीक महाजिर साहब यहाँ पर हैं, एक मज़र साहब यहाँ बैठे हुए और इनामदार साहब हैं। उसके बाद हम ब्रेक करेंगे लंच के लिए। लेकिन इंटरेक्शन जो है वो होगा ज़फ़र महमूद साहब के साथ और अदीब साहब के साथ। इफ़ यू परमिट, वी विल हैव दैट इंटरेक्शन कंटिन्यूसली एंड 5-7 minutes, then break for lunch, or after lunch you can also have interaction. The choice is yours. I will again ask you after 15 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been asked to be brief, and I will be. It is titled From the Shadows into the Light because things that have been in the background, things that have not been very open, very visible, are brought into your perspective, into your vision, in a manner which enables you to perhaps better appreciate the way things are going and the risks that we run if we do not stop them from going ahead. You see that the press talks about the terror probes reaching the top RSS leadership. The important thing to note is that the bottom of the slide shows that the newspaper which publicized this was itself attacked, showing that freedom of speech is going to be one of the first casualties. Again, you find it is Hindu terror which is being probed throughout. From Hyderabad, Malegaon, Ajmer, Samjhauta, you heard Muslim youngsters being rounded up. Minutes after a blast, you heard television scrolls saying that some or the other Muslim identity was involved, and the facts are that this is what the press itself speaks of. This is what the RSS is. It's a multi-headed monster which has many avatars, speaks in many languages, but ultimately the objective is the same. A press grab from a television newscast of the Makkah Masjid blast which shows who was involved, and in spite of that you saw who was picked up and who was tortured. The RSS, which was continuously talking about itself being a purely cultural organization, now controls the BJP and directs the BJP as to the way it should go. Things are no longer in the shadows. The RSS is out and out a visible political force to reckon with. That is a matter of concern because the RSS subscribes to an ideology which, as other speakers have said, owes its origins to Hitler and Mussolini and company. This is Narendra Modi in a book titled The India That Can Be. Interviewed by Rajdeep Sardesai, Modi says, talking about the arson, the rape, the murder, the looting and the burning that Gujarat saw in 2002, I have given the people of Gujarat the right to do justice. They have done justice once and they can do it again. The threat is unmistakable. These rapes, these murders, these arson, this looting can happen again if we come to power. And it is this honorable gentleman whom the BJP has adopted as its poster boy and its face for the coming 2014 elections. The BJP opposes the communal violence bill, and it is obvious why it does that. It does it because it is likely to expose the BJP. No criminal wants, I said, his criminality to be exposed. So in these circumstances, assuming that 2014 brings about a BJP regime, what are we looking forward to? Let's see what the images which are openly available on the internet show you. These are not images which I have conjured up. If I know these things, the intelligence bureau and the police departments of the country, every state in the country know them. That is Hitler's salute modified to suit the RSS, and you will find that Rajnath Singh on the right, who is now president of the BJP, subscribed to that ideology. Narendra Modi, the face of BJP for 2014, subscribed to that ideology. So we know exactly what these people stand for. Now, if those people who are out to defeat pluralism, inclusiveness, secularism, etc., who are out to defeat everything that the constitutional values stand for, come to power, what is it that it can mean if these people are going to train in this manner? You can see the Durga Vahini trainees. These people are now attempting to adopt a military standard, military type of training for obvious reasons. Obstacle course training, so far as until I saw this picture, I thought was confined to paramilitary forces and military units. But obviously non-military, non-paramilitary, private individuals are also being given obstacle course training, and one wonders why. That's Durga Vahini again being trained to use sticks under the tutelage, under the patronage of Sadhvi Ritambara, whose protege Sadhvi Pragya Thakur is now in prison for what you know. One person being taught to defend herself against a number of people wielding sticks. Where is this scenario going to unfold? From sticks we graduate to weapons. Target practice, Durga Vahini trainees. You can see from the faces of these individuals that these are not people who are from the slums or from some impoverished areas. These are people who belong to the middle classes and perhaps the upper middle classes as well. And you can see that armed forces training is being given. Swords. In India, if you carry a sword, you are doing something which is a criminal act. To possess a sword, you need a license. These people are using swords. You can see from the windows in the background that this is obviously within an institution. In an educational institution, sword fighting is being trained for. I would like to know why. Again, one person being trained to use swords against 10 other people. This is not ordinary sword play being taught. This is not physical fitness being taught. Something else is being taught. Why? Now the swords are out in the open. What is the police doing? Are they not aware of this? This is Rashtriya Sevika Sangh out in the streets. That right-wing guns blurb was not added by me. You can see the faces. They do not belong to the lower classes. These people belong to the upper classes or the middle classes, higher middle classes. Now, if this is the kind of weapon training that is being given, you even find people, you can see the sindoor in the lady's parting of hair, so you know her identity. She carries an AK-47, an assault rifle, which is not regulation issue even for police people, police personnel. This is confined to paramilitary forces and military forces. Where does this lady get it from? So, how is this training going to be used? You can see that. It's a picture which speaks 1,000 words. That lady has smashed the skull of an imaginary opponent with the butt of her bayonet. She's going to turn around and rip open the man's stomach with the knife part of it. Who trains like this and for what? We train to use training. And if this is the training being imparted, one would like to know why. And now we see why. Your transformation into tigers begins here. So these people are transformed into tigers, and none of that has been added by me. All of it belongs to the internet. Catch them young. The younger the better. Indoctrinate them. Use sticks, bows and arrows out in the streets. This is a news item from the 4th of December 2013. Somebody was held with daggers and he was arrested. A dagger is a small weapon which can be hid. Those people are carrying swords out in the open, and apparently nothing has been done. You can see the sword. Obviously, apparently the sword is mightier than the dagger. The dagger is poor small thing. But then that person was arrested and these people are not. Trishuls on display, sadhu santon ka apman nahi sahega Hindustan. VHP, you can see the swords on display. It's a regular arsenal. We are heading for a civil war, is it? Now, where do you get these weapons from? How do you get so many weapons? You can see that dagger is a very clear indicator as to what it is, and they can be identified. You can see the number of those trishuls. 2.5 years ago, I learned that 40 lakh of these had been distributed. There are 40 lakh armed people who are obviously visible. Now look at this gentleman. He is carrying an AK-47 as well. And the internet says that his name is Mr. Manoj Kumar. And he is described as a militant. Now compare those two weapons. Where do they get them from? The Indian Penal Code, Section 153A says that if a person carries out a drill or an exercise in a manner which causes apprehension in the minds of any community, etc., there's a prison sentence prescribed. None of that, apparently. That's Malegaon for you. That's Gujarat for you. You can see what is burning and what is left untouched. Those are churches. That's a pastor. Now, indoctrination is done in order to spew venom against the Muslim community and against the Christians, in order to get the ordinary Hindus to rise against and attack their Muslim brothers. The root of terrorism, this talks about jihad. It says there is a global jihad. This slide tells you Allah is the Muslims' teacher and the Holy Quran is their guide. Are you willing to fight back and protect Hinduism and Judaism? They will not stop until you teach them a lesson. It tells you where to learn the lessons to fight these people. Hinduize the politics, militarize the Hindus. Just take a look at this slide very carefully because you'll see more of it. This is how they demonize the Muslims and the Christians. They say Mother India is being attacked by the Christians and by the Muslims and by the communists, and they ask these people to stand up and fight for Mother India. This is what Islam's jihad actually is, as Mr. Ram Punyani very eloquently said. But these are the voices that the Quran should be banned, etc., etc. The concept of jihad, striving towards righteousness, is prescribed not just in the Quran, but in the Bhagavad Gita as well. These are quotes from the Gita. You see that the Gita talks about the same thing, where Lord Krishna is supposed to be speaking to Arjuna and telling him that the fight between evil and righteousness is a perennial fight which goes on forever. You have to fight that fight. If you lose, the gates of heaven open wide for you, and if you succeed, the spoils of the world also are yours. The same applies to the Guru Granth Sahib of the Sikhs, as well as the evangelical Christians. The RSS organized this Central Hindu Military Education Society, which runs the Bhosle Military School and the Bhosle Military College, from which come out people who joined the National Defense Academy and the Indian Military Academy, and we had a Colonel Purohit and other people. These people, apparently owing allegiance to a religious ideology, are coming out in support of Sadhvi Pragya Thakur and Colonel Purohit. You can see them carrying those placards. Weapons are being worshipped. This is the kind of training that is done. These are the cadres of the Bhosla Military School which graduate, and then they go into the military establishments and saffronize our military forces as well. So the earlier slide we come back to. Is it Hinduizing Is it militarizing the Hindus or is it Hinduizing the military? To leave no doubt in your minds, the commandant of the Bhosle Military School carries Hitler's cross on his peak cap. This is Hitler. RSS is praising him no end. And if anyone thinks Hitler is dead, think again. That is their own slogan. Hitler is alive and his name is the Sangh Parivar. Those who worship Hitler, those who subscribe to the policies of Hitler, etc., will do what he did when they come to power. This is puja on Vijayadashami, Durga's birthday. You can see even grenades being worshipped. Obviously, if this worship goes on, a certain religious ideology is involved in the thinking of the people who wield these weapons. This is how the demonization is being done. On one side, you find a Hindu mother sending her child to school for a better future. On the other side, you find a Muslim mother training her child to become a human bomb. That's a Muslim gentleman cutting the throats of Hindus who are bound and waiting in line to be slaughtered. This is the kind of thing. But sometimes when this happens, all you can do is turn to the courts. And when you turn to the courts, this is what happens. The Human Rights Watch says that this is the state of machinery of justice in Gujarat. This is what the sources at the bottom. Civil servants, politicians, judges, everyone know that you have to toe the political line. And if you don't, you know what's going to happen. The constitutional guarantees of Article 14 have taken a back seat. So it is actually governance on trial, and whether you should worry is answered by this question. He asks, what is wrong in a prime minister who propounds Hindutva? There's nothing wrong so long as things are done properly. But when you threaten war against the Muslims and call them savages, who threatened war against the Muslims? Who said Muslims are savages? Look at this slide. They say that in the fight between savages and civilization, it is civilization which must be supported. Support the Hindus, fight jihad, defeat jihad, meaning Muslims are savages and Hindus are civilized people. This is what they are saying very openly. And if the government, what is going to happen tomorrow is this is my apprehension. What happened in Gujarat? All government agencies stand infiltrated by RSS cadres. Every area has local leaders, Shaka Pramukhs or whatever, who are waiting to take orders from a central command. And when that command comes, there will be simultaneously timed uprisings all over, and the police will be impossibly ill-equipped to handle those. When that happens, the Indian army will have to be called out. And as the Indian army has been called out earlier in Bombay, when the Babri Masjid was demolished, you know what will happen. The army has to stand by for the civilian administration to issue the command, and that command will never come. We are looking at the possibility of a bloodbath unless we step up now and take action. There are other slides, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm running out of time. I will therefore regretfully stop here. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shafiq Mahajir Sahab.